Hey, what is going on everyone? In this video, I'm doing an unboxing and review of the TP-LINK TL-SG1008D switch. So I'm going to start with the unboxing and then I'm going to get into the review, and during the review segment, I'm getting into a lot more details as to what type of switch it is, features of it and whatnot. But for those of you that aren't sure what exactly a switch is, basically, a switch is the exact same concept as, well, not the exact same concept, but a similar concept as, say, a wireless router without the wireless feature. So good situations to be using a switch is, say, for example, my basement, we just renovated it, and we have Cat5e wires running all over throughout the basement. But in order to have all those ports connected, a wireless router wouldn't have enough ports because wireless routers tend to have only 4 ports, whereas this switch has 8. So that's the specific reason I purchased this switch. So here we have the user guide, the switch itself. Okay. There's nothing really to it. There's a front, but I'll get into all the physical designs. I mean, I'm going to be doing the review in the same video, so I'm not going to get into the physical aspect of it too much. I'll be covering that in the review itself. And here is the power cord. That's all that comes with it. No Ethernet wire was given. Not a big deal, considering that your home or your small office should have them already installed throughout your area, your work area. But I just want to get the measurement of this cord. I'm gonna put it against my body, get a rough idea. It's about 5 feet. So that's the unboxing. You just get a user manual, power cord, and the switch itself. So now let's start into getting into the review and the exact specs of the device. What the switch basically is an 8-port gigabit unmanaged switch which supports speeds of 10/100/1000 megabits per second. What you have at the front are some LED notificator lights letting you know that the device is actually powered on, and then you have numbers 1 to 8 letting you know how many devices are connected and how many of those devices are turned on. You know they're turned on if their light is illuminated. On the right side of the device, there are no ports at all. And what we have at the back of the device, on the far left, as you can see, is a port for power connection. And of course, you have the 1 to 8 ports which accept RJ45 Ethernet wiring. This, of course, can allow your devices such as a computer, desktop, laptop, or even media player to connect to the rear of this device. And just like the right side, the left side has nothing on it as well. And lastly, on the bottom of the device, as you notice, there's 2 holes for wall mounting in certain directions. You'll also notice that this device has no built-in fan and no ventilation, but that's not a big deal considering that the device only stays rather warm, not even hot for that matter. So ventilation and a built-in fan isn't really necessary. It stays rather cool for the most part. One unfortunate thing about this switch is that it doesn't allow for the greatest vertical support. Basically, if it's standing vertically and you have some Ethernet wires even tugging the slightest, the switch will fall over. It would have been nice if TP-LINK had included some sort of bracket to allow it to sit vertically. The switch works with standard IEEE 802.3, 802.3U, and 802.3AB. And of course, this is a full duplex switch, which allows for back pressure for half duplex mode. What's great about this switch is that once the device is plugged into its rear, it automatically detects and learns its MAC address. Furthermore, the device is simply pure plug and play. It came with no software. You just plug in the switch to a power source, plug in a device into its rear, and all devices connected through the switch are able to communicate with one another. There's also a built-in power saving mode. So for example, if a certain device is connected to the switch but is powered off, the switch will try not to use power to communicate with that device because it's off. It tries to reserve power for devices that are idling or just simply powered off that are connected through the switch. Okay, so I'm currently in my basement. I just want to show you how I have it set up in my house, the switch. So basically I have my modem, which is getting internet from my internet provider. Then the modem is connected to my wireless router. And that wireless router, I'm feeding a wire all the way down from the main floor because I'm currently in my basement. And it feeds all the way down into the switch. So the switch is getting internet and then it's feeding it to the rest of my basement. Even though I only have 2 other devices plugged in, I have to plug in more. But as you can see back there, that's my bundle. That's where all the wires are connected to the rest of my basement. Now the problem with this switch is that it doesn't allow for vertical support, so you can't really hold it vertically. The reason it's sitting perfectly fine right now is because it's resting on this loose drywall right here. But if I were to move it here, even the slightest touch,
the wires are putting pressure right now, and I can't hold it up. So this is a problem with it holding it vertically, because the slightest amount of pressure from these wires, if they're a bit, you know, tight, they will topple the switch over.
Alright, so it's time to give this device a score, and I'll give it a 9 out of a 10, and here's why. The pros of the device is that it's very cheap. If you're living in North America, it can range between $20 to $30. The switch does its job, and it does it very well. Whether you have a home network or a small office business network, it connects devices together and it does a pretty good job. It's also pure plug and play. As mentioned, there's no software included because it's not needed. Once the device is connected, it allows them to communicate with one another. It provides pretty good speeds, whether I'm streaming HD content through my home network or streaming HD media from the internet. It provides pretty good speeds. And of course, it is a power saving mode built inside that when a device is connected, whether the connected device is idling or simply powered off, the switch will try to reserve power for that connected port. Of course, this wasn't perfect. As mentioned, the only con was that it can't be positioned vertically for people like myself. There was no bracket included to position it vertically either, which is unfortunate. But anyway, that's my review. If you found this video useful, be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and website links in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.